What's up, guys? How are you? How's everybody doing? Hope you're all having a good night. I already see some of you guys here in the live chat. What's up, Space Monkey? How are you, man? What's up, Diego? Let me fix the mic here real quick. What's up, Sofa? Glad to see you guys. Iam. Diogo. Sorry, Caesar. Do you go by Diogo or Caesar? So, how's everybody doing? As always, thank you, Zofa, for letting me know that the audio sounds good. Today, we have a very special conversation that I'd like to have. Now, George Knapp and Mystery Wire dropped a new article. And you can find the link to the article down in the description of this video. If you haven't already seen the article, which most of the UFO community probably has. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, what I'd like you to do if you want to read the article is go to mysterywire.com. That's mysterywire.com. And the article's title, the title of the article is Mystery Objects Remain Unidentified. So how many of you guys have already seen the article? Let me know in the live chat. So let me see what you guys are saying in the live chat. Sorry, had to get a little water there. Johnny Hernandez, what's up, man? Paul Jones, what's up, brother? Carson. I see my dad's here. Hey, Dad. Carson said, yep, George Knapp and the Batman balloon. Diego says, or Diogo, sorry, or Caesar. I'm going to keep saying that wrong because I'm so used to saying Diego. But Diogo says, I've not seen it, but he's curious. Well, okay, so if you haven't seen the article, I might spoil a little bit for you, but I think the real juice of the article, obviously the journalism is important, but there were some images that were shared that if you haven't seen them, I suggest you check them out. And like I said, guys, remember, for those of you that are saying no, the link to the article is down in the description of this video. You can check it out after. We're going to talk about it tonight, so you'll probably get an idea of what it is. But I'm sure you're going to want to at least check it out after the live. So, like I said, the article is titled Mystery Objects Remain Unidentified. And we always talk about UFO news on my channel and UAP news as something positive because it's just adding more to the discussion. So basically on March 4th, 2019, a F-18 weapon systems officer, or an airman, right, used his iPhone to capture images of 3 objects. Originally, some of you may know one of these objects as the Batman balloon. Now, that object has a new name now, but let's talk about this. Let me get into it. So he encountered these 3 objects in the same airspace, right? The sphere, which is one of the objects, was photographed at 2:44 p.m. The second one to be photographed was dubbed the Acorn. Now, some people out there still call this object the Batman balloon because that was the object that was published online in December 2020. Sorry, guys. So, 12 minutes after the airman takes these photos, they spot a third object. And that object is described as the metallic blimp, which I think maybe they could have picked a better name for, because just throwing blimp in there is going to associate that it's of earthly origin. but it appears to have various appendages, right? So, guys, before we continue, before we keep going, I'm going to take a sip of water, but do me a favor and share this on Twitter. Let's get as many people in here as we can, because I think, I was really waiting to have this conversation. I stayed up pretty late last night. There's a time difference, from when stuff gets posted on Twitter and where you are and where I am. And I stayed up pretty late just viewing the discussions on this article, and that's really where I'm trying to head tonight. So, I'm going to take a sip of water. Like I said, do me a favor and share this on Twitter, and let's see if we can get some people in here. I would love to get some Batman balloon believers in here. Now, for those of you listening to this as a podcast, you're probably like, what is the Batman balloon? Well, one of these objects, I just spilled water everywhere. One of these objects resembled a toy Batman balloon. And what do humans do? Or what do we all do normally? We try to identify everything, right? If it's unexplained, we try to identify it. And if we can find an earthly explanation for it, that's kind of the goal always, right? Nobody wants to think aliens right away. Nobody wants to jump the gun, which is why they keep talking about these mysterious drones maybe being tech created by adversaries, or who knows, right? So I said I was going to take a sip of water. I still haven't done that yet. All right. So, 3 objects, 3 photos. One of them is a second photo of an object that we've already seen, that most of the community, I'd say, thought it was a Batman balloon, which I thought, look, I said it months ago on the live. I thought that was completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Like, probably one of the most ridiculous explanations I've ever heard. Now, I understand that it resembles a Batman balloon, right? But there's a lot of things that resemble a lot of things. It doesn't mean that that's what it is. Now, unfortunately, this object has a strange shape, right? It's a triangle-shaped object. I was going to say craft, but let's stick with object for now. And the Batman balloon, unfortunately, has a similar shape. Now, the issue here is the distance was estimated. The photo that was taken of this object, the original photo, people were saying it could be the size of a pickup truck. So that's a huge Batman balloon. Okay? So let's start talking about this seriously. Now, yesterday on Twitter, when I saw this article drop, I don't know if I'm tired. I don't know what's going on. But I read the article, and I was like, awesome. This is great. George Knapp was sort of hinting about it, dropping some little, him and Corbell were dropping little, like, wink, wink, something's coming. And I was waiting for it to see what it was, but that happens a lot. So I wasn't, like, building up my hopes too big, right? And I'm used to, like, doing that when it comes to this topic. And I guess I'm used to doing that in life. I try to keep my bar kind of low, so when something happens, good or bad, I'm not too surprised, too shocked. Let me check out the live chat real quick while I look for something I want to share with you guys. And I want to see what you guys are saying. So, let's see. Oh, here's something that I love. I love to see this. Paul Jones, thank you, man. He says full-size pics without watermarks. Full size, let me read this right. I'm getting excited. Full-size pics without watermarks are now on Mystery Wire. just gone up. That is awesome. And I'm glad to hear that. Definitely. Space Monkey says people weren't happy about the watermarks. Oh boy, are we going to get into the watermarks tonight, guys? Or are we going to get into this? Sofa says, yeah, I saw these. So he saw the pictures. Rodrigo's here. What's up, Rodrigo? All right, so let me read something to you guys. Literally, I was looking for something that I shared today on my feed, which is Chris Mellon. All of you know who Chris Mellon is. Most likely, if you're in this field or into this topic or subject, you know who Chris Mellon is and what he's been doing regarding disclosure and pushing the topic in the right direction. And one thing I said way back when the Batman balloon thing first came up with the original pictures was sort of this here. Look, he says, for those wondering why some of us with national security backgrounds have been so concerned about the UAP issue lately, I suggest this excellent update on the recent U.S. Navy encounters. Do people understand when they make assumptions or conclusions that the people seeing these things, that are sharing these pictures, are airmen, are trained individuals, people that spend time in the sky? And that there is people with national security backgrounds concerned about this topic. I mean, so I was already kind of bugged when I saw this original idea of the Batman balloon and this whole concept, and it just kind of sat there like a monkey on my back, and I didn't really debate it with anybody. You know, I might have said a few things on Twitter, but nothing too crazy. So yesterday, I read this article, I check it out, and I'm like, awesome, cool, more photos, perfect. Let me jump back into Twitter and see what's going on. The community must be super hyped about this. I jump on Twitter, I open up the article, I scroll down to the first, I don't know what it was, the first comment or whatever, and people were debating about the watermarks on the picture. I don't know, guys, if it's me, like I said, if it's me, if I'm tired, or what it is, but I completely lost it. I think I got triggered. And I feel bad about that. In the last live we did, I talked about, being the good guy and trying to be the hero always and not taking the easy route, which is to be the bad guy. But there are moments when, oh boy, I wish I could be the bad guy. And this was one of those moments, I gotta say. So they're talking about the watermarks. And I'm literally thinking, there are 3 photos of UAP, and you guys are talking about the watermarks. Like, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And it wasn't like one comment. There was like multiple comments of people saying like, the watermark ruins the image. I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice the watermark. And it's a giant watermark on the picture. But like, I looked right past the watermark, looked right at the objects, and said, oh, cool. Here's the object. Boom, boom, boom. 3 pictures. Awesome. When I got on Twitter and I saw people talking about the watermarks, then I noticed the watermarks. And they were huge, right? But it still didn't bother me. It didn't take away from what had happened, that George Knapp delivered. George Knapp came in with the ball, laid down a touchdown. And people were talking about watermarks. I couldn't believe it. I don't know what you guys think. I understand the argument, and I understand that everyone has their own opinion. Everyone can share their own, their own thoughts, their theories, their experiences. That's what I do. I mean, that's why the live chat exists. That's why I love interacting with people. But there's just certain things. I couldn't believe what was going on. And look, I share the debrief articles, and I think they're doing a great job. But if I'm not mistaken, somebody from debrief there was kind of talking about the watermarks, and I didn't really pick on anybody particularly. I didn't want to do that because I felt like, oh my god, I've lost it, right? I think if you guys had seen me, I don't know, I look like the Wolf of Wall Street. I lost it. And I just was wondering, did you guys feel the same way? I literally told somebody that shared their opinion with me, because they said, they kind of brought up the watermark thing, because what I tweeted out after that was, I'm going to say a bad word here. What am I, 5? I'm going to say a bad word. I said, who gives a shit about the watermarks? Honestly. I care about what's in the picture. I care about the journalism. I care that George Knapp delivered. That's what I care about. V says, watermarks are boring as... but love you guys. No, I'm just saying. Guys, if we want to get anywhere in this discussion, in this conversation, if we want to really talk about the topic, we cannot waste time talking about watermarks when there's 3 new photos of UAP. I'm sorry. Literally. So, we have 3 new photos that the watermark thing triggered me, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. And I just couldn't believe that people were wasting their time. I don't know. Is it me? And also, look, Mike Knapp said George is the man. I wonder if Mike is like George's brother. What's up, Mike? I see Ryan Sprague is here. What's up, Ryan? Guys, if you're not checking out Ryan's channel, Somewhere in the Skies, or his podcast, make sure to go check him out. He has great content. Thank you for being here, Ryan. Thomas Fessler says, Linda Moulton Howe copyrights everything. Who cares about, the watermark? Let him watermark it. Right after he put up the article, Joe Rogan shared it. So Joe Rogan shared it with all his audience. And yeah, awesome. There was a big mystery watermark on the front of the picture. Because George Knapp brought the story. He brought the pictures. I'm saying he brought this to us. I literally told somebody yesterday, just be grateful. Be happy you got the pictures. Be happy you got the pictures. George Knapp isn't the government. George Knapp is George Knapp. Be happy that George Knapp has the connections to go meet with Robert Bigelow, get the pictures, and share us the pictures. Or share with us the pictures, sorry. Just, can you do that? Can I do that? No, I cannot. I don't have connections like that. So we got to tip our hat. We got to show respect when respect is due. That's the way things work. And we can't waste time talking about watermarks when there's 3 new UAP photos. This whole idea, too, that normal, everyday people, I understand that we can do our part. Definitely. That's what this is all about. Us searching for the truth. We can definitely do our part. But we also have to have a little faith in the airmen that are seeing these things. We have to we have to kind of put a little trust in the professionals seeing things in their airspace. If they saw a Batman balloon, I don't think they'd share that. So for me, the 3 photos, great. People were talking about, they're blurry. They were shot on an iPhone. People want radar data. People want all the data. Look, guys, I totally get it. 100%. But do you really think the government is going to give you on a silver platter all the little pieces of data and HD footage and radar and whatever you think you want? I don't know. Sorry. Look, I'm getting triggered again just thinking about it. I understand why people want it. I understand we're all in this search. We're fighting for the truth. It's a war. Disclosure is a war. And maybe I've been in the war for too long. But I think that we shouldn't expect the government, the Navy, anybody to give us all that information on a platter. That would be ridiculous. They don't do that for anything. They don't do that for any other subject. They're not going to do it for UAPs. They're going to give us certain amounts of data. That's why what we're going to do with the Big Phone Home and the UAP report, the UAP task force, all these things that are going on, they are important. But they're important so that the general public understands that the UFO phenomenon is real. You and I know the UFO phenomenon is real. I don't need them to serve me any HD footage and radar data and all this stuff on a platter because they're never going to do that. I'm sorry. I don't know, guys. Maybe I am a little triggered at the reaction that the UFO community on Twitter gave George Knapp when he released this. I mean, there's only a few people like George Knapp left. I can't do what George Knapp does. George Knapp is on the ground. You know, he's one of the like originals. Like he's got a different style of doing this, and he's been doing it for a very, 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 very long time. And I just can't believe it. I mean, I can't believe when the community sways in that direction. It's like, what are you wasting your time for? I don't get it. Okay, so let's get back into the meat and juice, the potatoes of this. Also, feel free, guys. Look, you know what I'm going to do actually before we talk about anything else? I'm going to jump back into the live chat and see what you guys are saying. Alien Girl says more photos. I think we might get more photos. I think there may be more videos coming. You know, there may be more stuff coming. You're seeing this emphasis in the mass media and in the media on this topic. The UAP topic is being talked about. But when George Knapp brings you 3 photos of UAP taken by credible witnesses, again, I don't know, maybe it's me, but I've been trying to like explain to people how difficult it is to take a picture of a UFO in clear, you know, a clear picture of a UFO, especially if you're flying in a jet with an iPhone. And maybe I'm tired. Maybe I'm tired of trying to explain it to people. If you're listening to this as a podcast or watching this as a replay, I'll just remind you guys, the link for the article is down in the description of this video. And for those of you listening, go to mysterywire.com. Make sure to check out the 3 photos. Ignore the watermarks. And they're actually uploaded versions now, supposedly, according to the live chat, of the photos, the original photos without the watermark. So I hope all those people that were talking about the watermark are happy now. And they can now just look at the same exact image with the same clarity as the other image and get some better information from that. Let's see. Ryan Sprague says, you are the best, man. We have 3 new photos and supposedly within a minute of one another. Hashtag separate objects or a morphing object. That's a good question. And if you guys haven't listened to that UFO podcast, they did an update yesterday and they brought this up as well. And this idea that they're separate objects, there's one thing though that I've got to say. That would be awesome if there were 3 separate objects or a morphing object. But when you read the article, in the article it says 3 different objects. There's a line in the article that says 3 different objects. So it could be, you know, one object morphing and, you know, the article is just written that way. But that would be interesting. People have talked about that. You know, that these crafts seem to sort of change shapes. And it's really weird to see the orb there for me. Because one is an orb. The other one is like a metallic object. The one they're calling the blimp or whatever. And the other one is this, it's almost like an arrowhead to me. The acorn is what they call it. But to me, it looks kind of like an arrowhead. And if there's one thing that you read about when you look into UFO sightings, or especially these military sightings, it's like when you see UFOs in a group, sometimes you'll see different kinds of UFOs in a group, right? And that could be what this is. Or it could be that orb isn't an orb. Somebody said it's like a portal, maybe, opening up. I thought that was interesting. There's so many possibilities, right? What we got to take away from this is that there are 3 new photos of 3 objects that are UAP. Literally, the UAP task force still is saying that they are, unidentified, according to the article. And for those of you that still think these are balloons, I literally saw tweets today of people saying, oh no, they're, one's a balloon, and this one's a balloon. Look, I'm trying to keep my composure when I say this. But they were not affected by the high winds. So they are not drones or balloons. So you guys can take your Batman balloon and consider it popped. That's the whole name of the video here, the episode, whatever, the live. George Knapp rolled up and popped your balloon. V says the photos anywhere on Earth are not ET. I don't know. I mean, so you're saying, V, that none of the photos that are taken of saucer-shaped craft or any of these craft they're not ET? Let's see. I'm reading the live chat, guys. Diogo says, not to go off topic, but has anyone seen the Gaia's doc called Deep Space? Is it any good? I keep getting ads for it. Diogo, I'll be honest with you, very honest. Not, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I don't watch anything on Gaia, personally. But it might be good. That's just my taste, my opinion. Ryan Sprague says, glad to have hopped in, brother. It's a good day and a day to celebrate. Things are moving quick and everyone is contributing. Hashtag the big phone home. Have a great night. Have a great night, bro. Thank you for being here. Yeah, guys, hashtag the big phone home. So this movement that is being put on by Luis from Unidentified Celebrity Review that I am trying to help out with, I think is going to be really helpful in the sense of getting Congress to really see what's going on and to take this topic serious, which will then in turn help educate, the everyday common person on this topic. And I think these photos that we're seeing here, it's probably going to get spread around in the news and shared more and more. And it's good. It's good news. It's exactly what we need. And we need to think about how to stay on the right path and how to stay concentrated when we get this kind of information. We can't let our relationship with the phenomenon and the media make us not notice how important certain situations and certain instances are going to be moving forward. Our relationship with the media is not a good one. Our relationship with the phenomenon is not a good one. Even our relationships with some of the people that we've followed or we've believed in that have searched for the truth, have either, they've either changed or their stories have flipped or they ended up being in the search just for the money. And I understand why people jump at other people's throats or try to rip apart cases because they feel like they've been lied to in the past. They feel like they've been tricked. They feel like, they've been duped, and they're not going to let it happen again. And I still think we need to be optimistic, healthy, and clear-minded when these things happen. 3 objects in the same airspace, minutes apart from each other. Like, honestly. And the best part is that back when the original photo dropped, Knapp was saying there was other photos, and that there was another photo of the triangle. That wasn't the photo that he'd originally seen. And people were like, oh yeah, for sure, whatever. Some people, of course, everyone has haters, and people were doubting George Knapp, and I'm sorry, he came and he dunked. That's it. That's just what it is. But it's just another week is going by, and the UFO topic, the UAP topic, is being talked about, and that is the most important thing we can take away from this. And it's really disheartening to see people, belittling Knapp or talking about the watermarks and all this kind of stuff, when what we're going to end up doing is pushing away some powerful players, some powerful players that we have on our team. I could totally understand if somebody like Knapp just said, hey, you know what? I don't even want to do this anymore. Nobody cares. Nobody's taking this serious. Like, it's not worth it. And that's really sad. And like I said, there are only a few people left like Knapp. Hopefully one day I can do this full time, and I can get my boots on the ground, and I can get into an office with Robert Bigelow and get photos in my hand and show you guys those photos. And I hope that the community doesn't treat me like they treated George Knapp when he came out with this. It's just so, it's kind of got me down a bit. On top of getting me angry, it got me down. Because it just makes you think, what's going to happen? What's going to happen in the future when they finally do get that HD footage? I don't know. It's just frustrating. Because we're getting some good information. We're getting good videos. Even the FLIR video, the Go Fast, the gimbal video, those are good videos. But now people want 4K HD footage. The day we get 4K HD footage, somebody's going to say it's fake. It's CGI. And then there's going to be a whole squawk of people saying it's fake and CGI. Then you're going to have skeptics doing little shoddy experiments to try to prove how it's fake, how it's CGI. And we're going to just be going in circles. It's a waste of time. Especially when we're getting valuable pieces of the puzzle here. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me or if you guys feel the same way. Let me know in the live chat, guys. Thomas says, anti-gravity, no. Gravitational warp field, yes. The live chat's having their own conversations. I love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for being here always in the live chat. For those of you listening, for those of you watching this as a replay, thank you. Knapp is respected beyond any other elder, V says. That's what I mean. He is, by some of us. But there's some people out there that do not respect Knapp. Trust me. And I get it. Some people don't like him because of the Bob Lazar story, right? Some people don't buy the Bob Lazar story, and I get it, 100%. But you can't deny that George Knapp hasn't been in this game longer than most of us. And he's like one of the best players we got. He's a good journalist. He seems like he's really interested. I mean, I couldn't understand why he would be doing this for so long if he wasn't really searching for the truth. And I always say we got to work together. I said it earlier, man. I hope one day I can sit down with somebody like George Knapp, or I can get behind those closed doors, and get into those meetings that they're talking about, those briefings. But what difference does it make if I get there and then I bring you guys something, or I bring the community something, and they rip it to shreds? What difference would that make? You tell me. Other than ruin, my credibility, or I don't know. It's pretty frustrating, because you think, what's going to happen? How far can we get? How far do we expect to get? Especially seeing as the UAP, this UAP report from the UAP task force is just around the corner. And with the reaction to this article, I am 100% sure, 100% sure that the UFO community is going to be up in arms when they see any sort of information or whatever comes from that report. I am 100% sure. Because, here it is. We expect to get what we want. That's not how this works. They're giving us what they want, or what they can get. George Knapp is telling you what he knows and what he got. He doesn't have any more than that to tell you. We should be grateful that we got it. Now, what's going to happen with this UAP report is going to be the same thing. Except here we have the government, who does not tell you everything, ever, with anything. They never tell you everything. They never, ever have told us everything with anything when it comes to anything. And this is a very sensitive topic. So there is something happening with disclosure, right? It's not the disclosure that we all expected. But these kinds of signs, these kinds of things going on, it's not the reaction that I expected from the community. But I am 100% sure. You guys take note here. Remind me after the report comes out how the community reacts. Remind me, because I am positive. I am positive the community is going to be up in arms. Instead of saying, okay, we got more information. We got a little bit more. We got another piece of the puzzle. We are not going to get disclosure tomorrow. The UFOs are not going to land on the White House lawn. That's not what's happening. The government has literally, basically confirmed that UAPs are a reality, and we're still waiting for more. Now, what we're waiting for is to know what's the deal with the occupants, who is piloting these craft. But until the general public understands, we understand that UAPs are a reality, they finally get the hint that is being given on the mass media. When they finally get it, maybe then they can start thinking of a way to tell the public who's behind these craft. Because there are more and more cases coming out with credible, witnesses and heavy hitters in the mass media talking about this phenomenon. But I just don't know why people expect they're going to get what they want. That's not how this has ever worked. That's not how this phenomenon has ever interacted with us. And that's not how the government has ever interacted with us. If they have sensitive information, they keep it behind closed doors. That's just how it is. Hey, Anonymous, Anony Mouse. I like that. He says, I wonder if some of the negative comments are being fueled by some people in the government who are against this coming out. The Batman balloon thing, the original person or the original people that started talking about that, I thought that was the strangest thing in the world. And then it picked up and had this snowball effect, and it's still resonating in the community, and they're literally seeing new photos of other objects. I mean, do they think like Party City exploded and there's just party balloons flying through this airspace, and these airmen have never seen a party balloon before? I mean, be realistic. Be logical. Don't hang, a piece of soap on a rope in front of you and try to explain to me the Tic Tac encounter Listen to Fravor. Listen to these people coming out and talking about this topic. Chris Mellon says it perfectly in this tweet. He says it perfectly. And everyone should have retweeted that tweet, I'm telling you. If you didn't, you can find it on my feed, and I'm telling you, retweet it. I'm going to read it one more time, just to be very clear with everybody. This is the article that people were talking about, the watermarks, about it's too blurry, about it must be a lens flare, the orb. They were saying it could be a lens flare, it's out of focus. Christopher Mellon says, for those wondering why some of us in the national... Sorry, let me go again. Look, I'm getting worked up. I'm getting really worked up tonight, and it's not helping me explain my case here. He says, for those wondering why some of us with national security backgrounds have been so concerned about the UAP issue lately, I suggest this excellent update on recent U.S. Navy encounters. What else do you want? What? I mean, what else do people want? They're literally getting it like right in their face, and they're not paying attention. These people, Chris Mellon, Lou Elizondo, Fravor, all the people talking about this topic, these are not the kind of people that talk about this topic. This is disclosure. And people are expecting, I don't know what they're expecting, It's not done yet. We're not at that point. We're not going to get that, that close encounters moment. I don't think it's going to happen. And if it does happen, it's going to be very well calculated, very well, presented. It's just, there's something going on in the background. There has to be. I'm sorry. But there has to be something going on in the background. In my opinion. Space Monkey says it's so easy to discredit anyone these days, especially using troll farms. 100%. And there are a lot of small random accounts popping up on UFO Twitter. A lot of little random accounts with one subscriber, and I've been seeing it a lot. And that is so weird. To me, at least, because I have this account, and that's it. You guys see how much I post in a day. Imagine if I had another account. It would be ridiculous. I wouldn't even have time for that. Look, I barely have enough time to sit down with you guys once a week, go live, then think of a video to make a video, take care of Nala, take care of my wife, do my normal 9 to 5. I don't have time to be having fake troll accounts and to be doing all that kind of stuff. I don't get it. I don't get how people have time for that. Oh man, I got worked up, man. And I never get worked up. I felt really bad. Somebody shared their opinion with me, and I was like, you should just be happy you got the pictures, period. And I felt really bad. I didn't think it was going to sound that bad. Then I read it, and I said, that's not how you talk, man. And then I said, look, I get it, man. Your opinion is valid. Maybe it just struck a nerve with me, Paul Jones says, yep, sightings are increasing big time. Sightings are increasing, definitely. And people are stuck at home. People are spending more time smoking cigarettes in their backyards and looking at the sky, or, just hanging out in their houses in their backyards. I think Dogo says, what about the false flag ops? Is it entirely possible? Look, man, I don't like getting into that just because I'm not a big... I used to be really into Greer when I was younger, like into his work. And recently I just haven't been able to take him seriously. I'm sorry. I don't want to be, I never want to be like a hater or negative when it comes to people in this field, because I think we need to try to do our best to not do that, because then it makes us all look bad. But it's like we have two worlds, and I've made videos about this before. You had, before it was TTSA and Greer's world, and they had very different ideas and very different takes on what's going on. And like it or not, the government is going to give the people some kind of information. It's coming out right now. I mean, like, you're literally seeing it play out in front of you. That's the craziest part of this whole thing. It's not being, it's not, I'm not saying it's a psyop or anything like that. I'm saying disclosures playing out in front of us, and it's not happening the way you would think it was going to happen. And there's people like Chris Mellon literally dropping that tweet that I just read twice tonight. And I really think we need to start paying attention. Because there is something happening in the background. This phenomenon has been here for a long time. And if it's real now, it's been real this whole time. And what does that mean about Roswell? What does that mean about everything? Right? That was one of the most important things I tried to emphasize with people was, okay, so UFOs are real. So what does that mean about UFO history? What does that mean about all the cases you threw in the garbage because you thought, oh no, this case can't be real. Oh no, it's just swamp gas. Or oh no, What about all those cases? You got to look back at them. You definitely have to look back at them. Even with these photos, right? Look back into history, into UFO history, and see if you can find craft that look like these photos. I mean, we have the orb there, and how many times have they seen orbs like that? Many times. People started sharing photos on Twitter of, hey, look, this looks just like the orb in the photo. And yes, there are pictures that exist online that are not UFOs, that have earthly explanations. Not everything is a UFO or a UAP. But, guys, the phenomenon is real. So start digging back. We might have completely overlooked some very valuable information or very valuable cases in the past, that weren't taken as seriously as they should have been. Thomas Fesser says, the Undead Gaucho, it's not just people have more time. There are more and more sightings with more UFOs per sighting. That's possible. Definitely. Holy Noel, what's up? She says, same here, Gaucho. Diogo says, I share your opinion about Greer, but he wasn't the first one to come up with this. I understand that if we go that way, we can't believe anything anymore. I just would like for us to keep an eye open for that. And I agree, definitely, Diogo. Keep an eye open for that. We should all do that, 100%. And don't believe anything yet. You know what I mean? Yes, these are UAP. What's behind them, we still don't know. Do I think it's adversaries of the U.S.? No, I do not. Do I think it's possible that there were crashed UFOs and recovered craft? Let's not forget that was talked about. That's been talked about many times. If UFOs are real, let's kind of put the pieces together here. There's probably some recovered crashed craft. What does that mean? Who knows? You can look into my labs. There's a whole plethora of things we can look into. But the first thing we need to do is help the world wake up to this topic. Because if not, anytime we talk about it, they're not going to take us seriously. If they're not going to take what's going on right now on the news serious, if people aren't going to start waking up with this stuff, they'll never be ready for any of the other information that there is. Because there is so much more. This is just the beginning. And if it is a psyop, and people are actually, let's say it's a psyop, right? Part of it's a psyop, like Greer says, and then there are extraterrestrials interacting with us, and they're not helping save us from this psyop. That's something else we should think about too. You know, there's so many things that are going to come from this. V says, look up and look everywhere. Matthew Capasoli, what's your take on the Wilson memo? Used to think it was BS, but I'm coming around. Well, you should check out Richard Dolan's work on that. Richard Dolan did a very good job looking into that, and I don't want to, you know, I don't think I should even talk about it because he's done such a good job. So check it out. But Matthew Capasoli says it's a lousy psyop, though. Who knows? You know, I really have to say that there are secret projects. There have been secret projects, right? Not just looking into UFOs, many other things, right? Many other strange things. High strangeness has been taken seriously by the governments of the world. Psychic spies, all this kind of stuff. And people think it's not real, or I just don't get it. They don't know it exists, or they don't believe it. But the psychic spy thing is real. You know, ATIP was real. Project Blue Book was real. And between Project Blue Book and ATIP, there were probably so many projects looking into this. And let's not forget that there are governments around the world that probably have their own ATIPs and so many secret private groups too. Let's not even talking about private industry. We're not even bringing up private industry here. You know, if I was a multimillionaire, I would definitely have a bunch of money to go find recovered crashed UFOs, and I'd use it for that. And nobody would know about it. Unless, you know, let's hope I wasn't a greedy multimillionaire, but if I found the craft, maybe I could save the world and use the energy to help us. You know, but I don't see why I wouldn't do that. Like, you guys see how interested I am in this topic. Imagine if I was Elon Musk. I would have never said what he said on Rogan, but I would definitely try my best to find this stuff. Like, really, that's what I wish I had, you know, like some sort of resources, which is why people like George Knapp that have built up connections and can get behind closed doors and have resources are important. We need them. I don't have those resources, guys. I don't have any secret connections with anybody that can help us. I'm a normal guy like you. So let's keep our team strong. Let's respect people like Knapp. You know, I just told Matthew to go check out Richard Dolan's work. That's somebody else that I think does amazing work. And there's a lot of people in the community that aren't well known that do hard work. Like, if you're not following Acom on Twitter, a lot of you guys know who he is. The other day I said, you know, if you really want to keep your eye on the ball when it comes to UAP, UFO news, you got to go follow Acom. Scott, what's up, man? He says, I came in a little bit late, so maybe that's why I don't know. But what is meant by saying PSYOP? We're talking about how some people think that disclosure will happen, but the craft and the things we see are actually like re-engineered, basically like UFO tech, and the government's going to make us believe it's ETs invading us or attacking us, when really it's the actual government running a PSYOP. Carson Lotta says, let's be the resources that strengthen numbers. Definitely. I mean, we all are valuable. We are all doing our part. And I hope I didn't come off any time tonight when I was talking about, you know, like, what do you guys expect and all this kind of stuff. I'm not really talking to you guys. I'm talking to a specific group of people in the UFO community that I don't align with. I don't align with their with their views or with the way they approach the phenomenon. UFO Man, he says, hey Gaucho, what's up, man? Thank you for being here. Matthew Caposilli says, I watched Project Unity stuff last night. He had some good content on it. Definitely, Project Unity is somebody you should check out. Also, guys, check out Engaging the Phenomenon, that UFO podcast. In the description of this video, you will find links to different channels, that I definitely think you guys should check out. And if any of you guys in the live chat have a channel, feel free to, throw that channel link in the live chat. I don't mind. Share it with the community. Diogo says, although my profile picture tells a different story, I don't trust Musk anymore. I think he already crossed to the other side. Dude's working with NASA, and now he's the richest guy on the planet. Diogo, I can't even see your profile picture because the live chat is like, the picture's like this big. I don't know if that's Musk or not, but I was laughing because I made videos about Musk when I brought him up, like a week ago. And why did I bring up Musk? When I think of somebody that's super rich, I just think of Musk. Scott says, wow, lame, lol, right? I was saying that, we really don't, Scott, when it comes to the PSYOP thing, I was saying, look, we don't know what's going on yet. We don't know what's happening. I don't think it's a PSYOP. I think that for now, we just have to wait and see how disclosure plays out. We need to remember who we are and what we know, right? Keep our heads held high and keep our eyes on the ball. What we want to do is help the world wake up to this topic and find the truth and search for it. Nobody's going to give us the truth. And of course, there will be secrets and there will be strange things that come with this topic along the way as we learn more and more and more. So anything is really possible. But at this point in time, I don't think we're experiencing a PSYOP. Look, Zofa says, I have animations of obscure alien encounters from history on my channel. There you go, guys. Zofa has a channel. Make sure to check out his channel. Hi Stranger says, or the PSYOP is that the government's attempt... Oh, there goes my co-host again. One day she's going to knock over this camera and you guys are going to see it happen live. Hi, Stranger. Sorry, man. I was reading your comment. You said, or the PSYOP is that the government's attempt to seem as though they have control of the phenomenon. It could explain the difference between cases. Definitely. I did bring up on the last live that I think there will be some kind of effort to police this situation. They're not going to let this phenomenon or these UAPs or these drones or whatever they're going to call them, they're not going to let them keep flying over these airspaces. They're going to emphasize this to do something, create a weapon to stop it. Who knows? Remember, war, money makes the world go round. It makes the world go round. UFO Man says, hey, we need you as a panelist soon. Definitely, man. Anytime. Feel free, guys, anytime to reach out to me for any projects. Anything you guys want to do, I'm open. Matthew Capasoli says, Diogo, I don't know if Musk is working with Mick and NASA so much as he's protecting his investment by downplaying sightings. It's very possible. V says, there's no disclosure of truth from any government on Earth. Sofa said, thanks. No, man. Any channel, guys, any content you guys have or anything you want to share, feel free always to share it in the live chat. Definitely. I don't know if you guys can hear Nala walking around. Of course, like always, the co-host, my dog, Nala. Matthew Capasoli says MIC, Military Industrial Complex. Perfect. All right, so basically this whole live that I wanted to do tonight, the whole topic was just trying to give you guys my point of view on why I was a little frustrated yesterday when I saw the community react that way. I hope the community doesn't do that to me ever. I should expect it to happen, right? To get ripped apart sooner or later. But I really got to say that it's awesome to see you guys here and have these discussions with you guys. And I don't know if it's, it makes me feel like I can't stop searching for the truth. I need to continue, right? Because there's moments like yesterday where I feel like, oh man, what am I going to do? Because one day, that person they're chewing up is going to be me. But then I realized I got to keep doing this. Because for me, the truth really is out there. And like it or not, we still don't have it yet. And I don't think we're going to get it unless we work together and try to get it ourselves. We can't wait for any government to hand, to give it to us on a silver platter, to hand it over to us. Because it hasn't happened for years, and I could see there's a change in the air. Something's happening now. Maybe it's something that we don't know. Something happening, more and more sightings. It's getting harder and harder to ignore. But I'm not going to stop searching. I don't think you guys should ever stop searching for the truth because, like I said, it is out there. I know it sounds cheesy. But yeah. So guys, I think I'm going to end it here tonight. For those of you that listened all the way through as a podcast, thank you. If you'd like to join the live chat discussions, please feel free to come and share your thoughts, theories, your experiences with us here. You can find my channel, The Undead Gaucho, on YouTube. We do these lives every Wednesday. The community in the live chat, they're awesome. They're very cool. And I'm sure you guys will have amazing conversations with them. And if anybody's interested in supporting me or supporting the channel, I'd better said, helping the channel grow, helping me take the channel to a higher level of quality or a higher, further and further, down in the description of the video, apart from the Mystery Wire article, you guys can find my Twitter account. You can find my Patreon, which I got to say thank you to my Patreons. I know some of you here in the live chat support me there, so thank you guys. And you can also pick up an Undead Gaucho t-shirt. By the way, last week I sold my first NFT, and I want to say thank you to Luisa. I think Luisa was the one who brought that up last time. I was actually working on launching an NFT for some time, so it was pretty cool to launch it, and then somebody picked it up real quick. So expect to see more art being shared on the blockchain coming soon. There's something I'm working on, something in the background, and hopefully it's something that will add value to the community as well as help me express myself and to keep creating. So just keep an eye out for that. And don't forget, guys, there's a list of channels down in the description of this video. Go check them out. Subscribe to all of them. Never stop searching for the truth, guys. Because we can't. Especially now. Especially with all this news, this new change that we're in, this world we're living in. We can't stop now. Especially when it gets tough, gets rough. We got to continue forward. And if George Knapp ever sees this, George, you're awesome, man. Thank you for making that article. You guys have a good night, guys. We'll talk soon.